Kinky fuckers of YouTube, Beast back here with you. Alice is running around back and forth. Before we go live on the podcast tonight, we figured we'd make a couple videos here for YouTube, answer some of your questions. And one of the ones that I get asked a lot, I think I've technically done a video on this before, but it's okay. Where my experience, my knowledge comes from, which is valid. You know, you want to make sure that the guy that's giving you your advice, the guy that's talking to you about these questions, I've been vetted, honey. I've been vetted multiple times. But you want to make sure that the person you're learning from actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. It isn't just some random, bald, fat, bearded motherfucker going, kinky fucker, this is what you do. That's what I'm telling you to do, but I want to make sure you know that I have the background to back it up. And that Alice does too, actually. So I have been involved in this lifestyle for the better part of 2 decades. Technically longer, but let's talk about actually the fuck you, fucking grandpa. I had experiences before I should, and then I continued with those experiences. When I first started in this lifestyle, I submitted. I fucking hated it, but I submitted. Here's the reason why. Because if you really get into this lifestyle, it's so much more than, oh, you like that? You like that, you dirty bitch? It's more than that. Yeah. It's so much more. There's so much psychological to it. And I wanted to make sure, and technically all the doms I talked to back then felt this way. I don't think that logic is still there for some. But I wanted to make sure that I knew the mentality of what my partners would be experiencing. So I submitted first. Hated every fucking second of it. But I learned what the mental state was, what things felt like, and etc. That's where I started. Now, for those 2 decades since, I have been involved one way, shape, or form in the kink lifestyle. That includes with partners of different experience levels, always now since as a dom, multiple polyamorous relationships, working directly with respected members. What are you pointing at? Respected members of the St. Louis community. And as a matter of fact, for about 3.5, 4 years, I ran the largest kink events, recurring kink events in St. Louis. Now, I say recurring because there are some one-off yearly events that are well beyond the scale of anything I could do. But at the time, in St. Louis when I started, I would believe I was 25 or 26 around then, give or take. Might have been 23, 24. It's in my 20s, okay? There was not a great outlet for play for the 18 to 35 crowd, the quote-unquote TNG crowd. If you see TNG, it's the next generation. So at the time, my partner and I started what we called CUF, Kinky Under 40 Fetishists. And we were the only group that was hosting events that were not only for kinky people to get together, but to learn, to have a play space they could explore in safely with educated DMs, and etc. We were the only ones to do it in the St. Louis area. Our first event had about 40 people, which was huge for us. Our next one had 85. By the third one, we were in the hundreds of attendees, and we're growing exponentially because people were happy. People were able to connect with other people their age and learn and explore. So I did that. I educated at these events. I learned from other people at these events. I have learned one way, shape, or form from other people and through personal experience and personal study for, again, the better part of 2 decades. Now, on top of that, what I would think sets me apart from other people is I have other training, which is one thing I feel that is important and that I've learned over the years, is that especially the most gatekeepy people in this lifestyle, the only thing they draw on is their experience with their own education, and specifically to kink. Some of these quote-unquote vetted educators, some of these quote-unquote professional educators don't even have a college fucking degree. And I think there's something wrong with that. Now, no, you can't go to college and go, I want to teach kink. Okay, it doesn't exist, and I understand that. That being said, if your only thing you draw on is this vacuum that you existed in, that's where this gatekeeping bullshit comes from.
Wrong.
Now, my knowledge that I draw from comes from the fact that I am master's educated. Part of that knowledge
I am
during
going
my
to college to be sexuality.
Your sexuality, but it's not a degree in kink education. That's my point.
You can be a sexuality therapist.
You can be a sexuality therapist, but there's no class at college. It's bondage 101. How to Spank a Bitch 202. These
That's
don't.
what you mean.
Yes. There's no accredited system for vetting. That's my point. Now,
Other than going in and getting it yourself.
her point is exactly what I'm trying to get to, though. She's going to college. She's going to psychology. She's going to college with a focus on psychology, focused on sexual therapy. Part of my sociology and psychology classes I took going for my master's degree were focused on human sexuality, women's studies. I took classes in these topics so I better fucking understood. Just that I wasn't in my own little vacuum. On top of that, I have worked with first responders for decades in one way, shape, or form. I am currently going to get my rescue diver full cert so I can rescue people all over the world. And I'm already a certified diver, and I've already done this stuff. Dealing with things like, I don't know, oxygen. Weird. I'm certified in first aid. I'm certified in CPR. These things are important. On top of all of that, I draw from a lifetime of experiences with my partners. Okay? Those include partners that have suffered from PTSD. Those include partners that have suffered from various disabilities, various health issues. And not just that I dated that person and I sucked up the knowledge, but that I actually was the person that went to their doctor and asked fucking questions. Alice is a perfect example. Alice suffers from epilepsy and seizures, epilepsy. And which, to be clear, by the way, because some fucking moron the other day tried to suggest it was from blood chokes. No, she's had this disorder her whole fucking life. Okay? That being said, I was smart enough before we engaged in edge play or kink to go and speak to her specialist and go, hey, this is one of the consensual activities we enjoy. Is there a risk of complicating her disorder with this type of play? The answer was a resounding no. Yes, I know it feels weird to go to your doctor and go, hey, I like to be choked the fuck out. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay? I get it's weird. But they can't tell your boss. They can't tell your family. Okay? So ask them. Flat out. Realistically, you should be getting tested for this shit anyway, whether you're going into kink or not. You should know if you have blood clots. You should know if you have underlying health issues. Whether or not it's about kink, it's about your life, man. Okay? But over the years, for various reasons, because of various partners, I have consulted with psychologists, with neurologists, with psychiatrists, with regular doctors. Okay? When I speak on the topics that I speak on, it is not just personal experience. It is not just education from other educators, and it's not just my college education, but it's consultation with specific medical professionals and my own first aid, CPR, etc. training. Okay? And I will tell you to challenge any fucking educator that comes out here, whether it's whatever its regards is, that if they don't have a background beyond, well, Lord Sir Domly Dom Master John taught me this, if that is their only thing, or that, you know, Lord Sir Domly Dom John vetted them and that's it, that's not enough. That's not enough, okay? There needs to be more than that. Because we don't know who the fuck Lord Sir Domly Dom John is. We don't know who the fuck Mistress, Queen Lady with the big boobs, fucking Sarah is, okay? That's the point. Make sure that they're coming from not only the vacuum of their own existence, but knowledge from other places. And if they cannot back up their education or their negative claims, don't fucking believe it or take it with a grain of salt. Because one thing is with this lifestyle is that you always need to keep learning. And that's true in life too, guys. The minute we stop learning, we're dead. That's not just kink. That's life. You don't know it all. Nobody does. Nobody knows everything. Very few people know half of everything. And if anybody comes to you and goes, I know everything, no.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, witchcraft. That either they're full of shit or they're a demon. And either way, you don't want to let that into your bedroom. Okay? You might want to get fucked like the devil, but you don't want to get fucked by the devil. You know what I'm saying? Just common sense, guys. Keep learning, keep exploring, ask questions, but do your own research, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be in your bedroom going, hey, that's not all right. Some of you might like that. Some of you might wish that Alice or I was in your bedroom going, hey there, big boy. Hey, you're doing a good job. It's not going to happen. Oh, and by the way, speaking of her experience on top of her college education she's going for, when she speaks, also 7 years in this lifestyle, including in one of the most healthy public scenes in Texas. So we're coming from experience. We're coming from knowledge. Doesn't she look gorgeous tonight? We're coming from a place of knowledge. But we're never going to tell you that we know everything. We're never going to tell you that our word is the end-all, be-all of kink. But we will challenge anyone who has less knowledge to counter what we say. But keep learning, keep exploring, kink responsibly, kink safely, have fun, and ask questions. Okay? We will see you on the podcast every Wednesday and Friday at twitch.tv/beastinthebells, twitch.tv/beastinthebells, stlbells.com/link for everything else. Beyond that, Gorgeous Alice, Beast, Kinky Gnome, and apparently now the choking king of TikTok, out.